Hi everybody, welcome back to the wonderful Arma Reforger, and in this video I wanted to share with you my favourite solo lone wolf US army loadout for playing conflict mode. So this is for the people out there who you enjoy playing Arma Reforger. Maybe you can't always join up with other players, maybe you don't want to, maybe you want to operate by yourself or your limited time or something like that. And this is a bit like me, so I don't know when I can jump on. I can only often jump on for a little bit, so I tend to be playing by myself. And this is the core of, if I can kind of get a really preferred loadout, this is kind of what I'm working with, although there's a lot of versatility to what we're trying to get. The core thing for me that I really think is very, very important is the radio backpack when you're playing by yourself. And what you want to do is, when you jump into a game, create your own squad, maybe even make that squad private, and then get a radio backpack. Now the radio backpack, what it allows you to do is to create your own respawn point. So what I can do, and I'm in game master mode, so I'm not sure if it's going to let me do it, but if I drop the radio backpack like so, I can then deploy it as a radio. Now the radio backpack in and of itself has 100 supplies in it, which means that am I getting shot at from somewhere? Which means that I can then, when I need to respawn and I look at the map, I can respawn on my radio, and that will cost 20 resupply points. So we can go through, we get 5 redeploys, and then it runs out of internal supplies. And when you respawn there, you'll then respawn with a basic rifleman's loadout, so you have like the M16. However, the way that you can use it very, very cleverly is, instead of using it as a respawn point, you can use it as a teleport point. So what you would do is, when you respawn, I'm using Ireland as an example here, but say we respawn down here, you would then select the radio, you press and hold X. I can't show you because we're in Game Master mode, but I'll link in the description below this video to a video that shows you how to do it. But you can select the respawn point and then teleport to your radio. Now you can only do this once every 10 minutes, but when you do it that way, it means that you spawn in at a main operating base, for example, go to the armory, get the loadout you want, and then you just teleport to your backpack. That doesn't cost any points, and it means you have the full gear. Now you can only do this every 10 minutes, and as you rank up the time goes down a little bit, but it's an incredibly powerful tool, and as long as you're fairly careful doing whatever you're going to do, there could well be 10 minutes before your deaths anyway. And then all you've got to remember to do is, when you finish capturing the point or doing what you're doing, you put your radio back on and you're on your way. A vehicle is really important for me as well. And one of the things you can do is, if you get yourself a vehicle, hopefully something that doesn't stick out too much, like a little Jeep. If you put supplies in the back of the Jeep, and then when you take your radio off, you deploy it next to the Jeep, so inside a wooded area or inside a bush, your radio backpack can then use the supplies from the Jeep. So if, for example, you die fairly quickly and you don't want to wait 10 minutes to respawn, you can then set up the backpack so you can respawn with the custom gear on as well. So that can be very, very useful. And that's a thing to understand, the fact that when you have supplies in a vehicle, they can be used by items that use supplies, such as the medical packs as well. Now, as far as weapons go, you've got lots of choices. This is the M16 carbine, so the fully automatic M16, and I've put the red dot on it. Now, as we get the rank controls coming in with update 1.3, maybe they'll be in already, you may well just have to go with the standard M16 with the iron sights. And of course, on my shoulder, we've got the M21 sniper. Again, very, very powerful. There is an argument that putting the red dot on the M16, whether that be the burst fire one or the carbine, does give you a very good long range option as well, especially if you add the silencer. This may be better than the M21 for solo fighting, because it means that you can set yourself up near an enemy respawn point and harass them by shooting at them. And of course, if you've got a silencer on, they're going to really struggle to find where you are, and you can use the red dot. Or of course, you could, if we wanted to, we could put the 4x20 on, is it? Let's open that up. Let's take that off, and let's put this on. That's a 4x20, so let's put that on there. Now, if you did this way, where you get in the big sight, and then you can swap to the iron sight. See, I don't think those iron sights are very good. I think you're going to miss enemies that way. But there's no doubt that, when you've got the big sight on, that could be kind of a full-time weapon where you wouldn't need the sniper. And the advantage of that is if you haven't got a sniper on your shoulder or the secondary weapon, well, that would then enable you to either carry a landmine, which you could put on a road and ambush people, or the law, and this, which is the anti-tank rocket. And this is another good reason to have a vehicle, because it means you can carry this stuff. So you can go deep into enemy territory, hide your jeep, set up your radio backpack so you can respawn, grab the mine out or mines out, drag them down to the road and put some mines in the road, and then get ready go and get your rocket launcher afterwards as well, and get ready to ambush people as well. Now, the other thing that you could take with you, which would be very useful from the armory, is if you take the medical kit and put that in the vehicle, that's going to give you infinite bandages, and when you have supplies in the vehicle, it will give you some other good stuff as well. And then if you take the US resupply pack, that will give you infinite normal M16 mags, but again, if there's supplies in the Jeep, you can then get more complicated stuff out of it as well. So there we go. Hopefully that gives you some ideas about maybe how to set up your solo gear. But again, for me, that critical thing is that radio backpack. The ability to put that down, so when you are trying to solo take objectives, you are going to die. There's nothing you can do about it. You're definitely going to die. But the fact that you've got your radio backpack means you can teleport to that position, carry on doing what you're doing, take those NPCs out, take those real players out, keep the pressure on without having that boring 10-minute, 5-minute drive from an operating base back to where you meant to be. So there we go. My favourite lone wolf solo Arma Reforger US Army loadout for the Conflict game mode. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And of course, I'll see you again soon.